What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode in the House of Suain. In today's video, I wanted to go over a quick, simple, yet effective dynamic warm-up to get you ready for whatever you have to tackle in the gym today. First, as always, I want to say thank you for clicking on my video and watching. If you haven't done so already, consider subscribing to my channel and also hit that notification button because I try to release a video once every week. The purpose of the dynamic warm-up is to really get your body primed and ready for any type of movements you'll be doing during your strength session or your cardio session. So my dynamic warm-up usually takes me about 5 to 10 minutes, mainly because I'm taking my time doing it. It also helps me kind of like get my mind prepared for what I'm gonna be doing. First movement I like to begin with is the inchworm. So this version of the inchworm is my absolute favorite dynamic warm-up. I start off slowly walking my hands out in front of me, dropping down into that plank position, stretching out the abs and the hip flexors, then pushing back into that downward dog position, pushing the heels down to the floor, and then slowly walk my feet towards my hands. And that key word is slowly. These movements right here, there's no time constraint. I don't have to do a particular amount of reps. It's just all about waking up the joints, waking up the muscles, and just getting that heart rate up slightly and making sure everything feels right. So if there's any one movement you take away from this video, let it be this modified inchworm that I do. I think it is the perfect full body warm-up. Do about 5 to 10 of these at whatever pace you feel necessary, and your entire body is gonna feel it. And as you can see, in between these reps, I'm just kind of rotating my ankles, my wrists, just feeling out each of these joints, stretching out small muscle groups. Because again, the dynamic warm-up is just priming your body for whatever movements you're gonna be focusing on for your strength session, for your cardio session, whatever type of session you have coming up. This is just getting your body ready for it. Next movement I like to do are PVC passthroughs. And this movement is great for opening up the chest and the back, as well as the shoulders. Now you don't necessarily need a piece of PVC. You can use an old broomstick like I do, just as long as it's long enough for you to grab on both ends and comfortably pass your head through as you're rotating your shoulders. So you're just bringing it from the front of your body, over your head, and all the way to your back. The more narrow you grab the stick, the more difficult it will become. So as you become more comfortable and more flexible, you can slightly narrow your grip and try to execute the same motion. Now again, these pass-throughs are really gonna help open up the pecs, the shoulders, the shoulder girdle, the traps, even the forearms. And continuing to use your stick is gonna be some leg swings. So first I'm taking that stick and placing it on the same side leg that'll be executing the swings, just to help me keep my balance. Then the intent behind this is to slowly increase the height of kick that I'm executing forward as well as backwards. There's no particular amount of reps I'm going for or any specific amount of time. I'm just going until that hip feels nice and warmed up and I feel like I'm able to kick higher and higher because the muscle is more relaxed. Now, if you don't feel as flexible, you can always keep a bent knee going forward and backwards. And if you feel more flexible, you can just keep your legs straight. The last movement with your stick is gonna be good mornings. These are great for stretching out the lower back and the hamstrings as well. So with this movement, you're gonna place a stick on the lower part of your neck, which is gonna be on your rear deltoids. And you wanna hinge at the hips with a slight bend in your knees. So you'll see what I mean from this profile shot. Sticks on the lower part of my neck, slight bend in my knees, hinging at the hips and keeping a nice neutral spine. You want to feel all that tension in your hamstrings because that's what we're really focusing on. That's what we're really warming up and stretching out. Now next up, some body weight movements. I'd like to do a couple of air squats, maybe 1 or 2 sets of 10. Again, this isn't to do them as fast as you can. This is just to get the muscles warmed up and to slightly increase the heart rate. So even though it is a warm up, we still have to take the squat seriously. So we're still pushing the knees out at the bottom, weights distributed from midfoot to heel. And with these, I also like to kind of move around at the bottom of the squat just to warm up a little bit more. Take your time with these. There's no rush. Next up, we'll do some lunges. And at the bottom of each lunge, just try to reach your hands overhead, get a nice good stretch. So my focus on these is I get my knee down and I push my hips forward just to really stretch out the hip flexors. And then putting your hands overhead, push your head through your shoulders and really stretch out the upper body, similar to how you were feeling with those PVC pass-throughs. Now at this point in my dynamic warm-up, I got a decent sweat going. Everything feels nice and warmed up. The heart rate slightly elevated. I'm not fatigued at all, but now I'm comfortable going into whatever workout session I have next. So I think using a dynamic warm-up such as this, adding to it if you want, taking some things out of it, tailoring it to what you're gonna be doing for the day, just doing this 5 to 10 minutes before you start whatever your session is for that day is really gonna help your body be ready for those movements so you can really push yourself and get those gains that you're trying to accomplish. So if there are any specific dynamic warm-ups you'd like to see in future videos, just let me know in the comments section below. Thanks again for watching, and until next time in the House of Suain, take care.